Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So I want us to do an update of the weekly outlook that we did on Sunday. So this week from the outlook, my high probability or anticipated that the market will just open, rally, sweep some highs, and then we get midweek reversal profile. But clearly you can see that's not what happened. So because of that, I think I need to do an update so we can see the new levels we're watching. Now, so first of all, I want to make this clear. I trade expansion of the weekly candle because some of you have been asking me how I trade. This is what I do, and I have a video about this here on YouTube, and I also teach all these concepts. You can join one of the bootcamp that I normally have, 6 weeks by the way, 6 weeks of learning, and so it's 3 weeks of learning and 3 weeks of practical where we get to real market, do trade analysis, live market analysis, and all that. So it's not only theory learning. Now, so I trade the expansion of the weekly candle. What does that mean? I want to see if a week is going to expand bullish based on analysis that you're going to do, then you want to see the week open, form the low of the week. So this right here is power of 3 of the weekly candle. So we open, form the low of the week. Once the low of the week has been formed, we want to see expansion to form what? To form the high of the week. Of course, it's going to be a bullish candle. What you want to see when price is forming the low of the week, price normally retraces to a daily key level. Daily key levels normally give support for price to form low of the week or high of the week before we get the expansion of a weekly candle. This is manipulation to a daily key level. Once that low of the week has been put in place, we want to take advantage of this expansion. This is now what we are trading. And normally our draw of liquidity for expansion of a weekly candle is previous week highs. We'll be looking at previous week highs, and also you can also look at monthly. You could be having a previous month high. That is your draw of liquidity. So yeah, so that's how I trade. Now, let us now look at the daily time frame. So if you look at the daily time frame, you can clearly see there's this fair value gap. Candle 1, 2, 3 form this fair value gap. And anytime you have a fair value gap with a volume imbalance, you mark all of it together as one. So this is 1, 2, 3. So right here, this is our daily fair value gap. And we've said if you're expecting a bullish expansion of the weekly candle, what happens? This is where we want to see the low of the week form. So we want to see price tag this. Once price has tagged this daily fair value gap, move to the lower time frame, we look for confirmation. Then from there, we want to take advantage of expansion of that weekly candle. I don't want price to invert this. If price inverts this daily fair value gap, then that means that setup has been invalidated. Again, if you take your fib tool and measure from this low to this high, so this is expansion of last week, you can clearly see 50% of this range is actually on this fair value gap here. So this will be a good place to buy. You'll be buying at a discount because you always want to buy at a discount. You don't want to buy at premium prices. So let's look at USDCHF. So USDCHF, again, the same thing. You can clearly see we have a daily fair value gap here. Also, there's this inversion fair value gap which got tagged by price yesterday Monday. So today, Tuesday, I want to see price tag this. So we end up having what? We end up having Tuesday forming the low of the week before we finally get that expansion. So that is a classic weekly profile. For those people who know ICT, that's literally what it is. Again, I teach all this in the 6 weeks bootcamp that I normally have every single month. So let's look at EURUSD. So EURUSD, again, the same thing. If you're expecting a bearish EURUSD because it's been bearish, we want to see, you can see, first of all, there's an order block right here for EURUSD. And also we have a daily fair value gap here. So this is a daily time frame. So the same thing, we want to see price tag this, and then we get that bearish move. We can also see there's another fair value gap here. Remember, the order block covers all these. So you can still have a retracement to this fair value gap here. This is still allowed. I don't want price to invert. This is the last line of defense. We don't want to see price invert this. If price inverts this, then there's a high probability that setup will be invalidated. So let's look at GBPUSD. So GBPUSD, you can see there's an order block here. There's a fair value gap here, and we have okay, so whenever you have a fair value gap and a volume imbalance together, you mark it all as one. So all that becomes a fair value gap, which you can see price is now tagging. So again, if you're going to get a bearish expansion this week, this should act as support to push price lower. So that is the update I wanted to make for the weekly outlook video. So I wish you all the best in your trading. If you enjoy these videos, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next one.